Previously on Podcast Without Pretense.
You know, I'm so glad the streak is never going to die.
That was the greatest guest call we've ever had because we don't ever have calls on the show.
For the new year, I'm going to cheers to the health of our rock stars and movie stars. I think it's going to be a good year.
Yeah. Wow. So many predictions that went so wrong so early. Hi, I'm Jonathan Strickland.
I'm Ayaz Akhtar.
And I'm Eric Sandine.
And together, we form a medium to medium large.
Yes. Or a venti, if you're in the Starbucks world. Medium
Yes.
large would be a venti grande? Grande venti? I don't know.
I think you would just go with venti because the large now is the Trenti.
Okay, well, nobody listens to this show because of our Starbucks knowledge, I bet.
Nobody listens to the show, period. Full stop.
I am so unbelievably sleepy for some reason. I blame
Maybe it was because of
Eric.
multiple attempts to watch Redeemer and you just lost all will to live.
I have notes for Redeemer.
For like however long you got. Eric, did you see what Ayaz had to say to me on Twitter about how he tried to watch Redeemer, 2 or 3 times and then just gave up?
What? How?
I gave up a while ago, but I finished it today, but I still had to fast forward like the middle of it.
So
I mean, I technically fast forwarded the middle too.
You are both fuckers. I watched the whole goddamn movie, like, I don't know, sometime in late 2015, and I've been waiting for you two to watch it, and then you're like, nah, you know what? Jonathan endured this film and has been waiting to talk about it for months. I'm just going to fast forward through this section.
I'll just skim it.
Well,
you both are assholes.
This movie could be watched pretty much the whole time, 1, without sound, and 2, in fast forward, and you wouldn't miss too much because there's just a shit ton of fight scenes, and they're well done-ish, but it's repetitive and dull.
It is nowhere close to being the most boring or the worst film that we've watched for Podcast Without Pretense, but I will say it does not distinguish itself. Apart from the fact that I thought it was interesting that it was a martial arts film that incorporated Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which you don't normally see, like holds and joint locks and stuff. Mm-hmm. People put each other in arm bars and in choke holds, and you don't typically see that in fight sequences in Hollywood films or even martial arts films. It tends to be a lot more strikes and kicks and punches, and occasionally a throw. So that I thought was kind of interesting, but you're right. I mean, there's nothing that is really outlandish. I do have notes. First of all, for those who do not know, because it has been a very long time since we have done this, the whole purpose of this exercise is for us to pick movies on Netflix that aren't rated very highly and then see how long we can watch said movie with no distractions present, no second screens, preferably no other people in the room, or if they are in the room, you're not chatting or joking around with them. You're devoting your full attention to the movie. The whole reason is that we just wanted to see if we were still capable of dedicating our full attention to something that we're not automatically interested in. And we have varying degrees of success depending upon the film. It's not a contest. It's just kind of to gauge our own ability. So for this movie, I actually wrote down how far I got. Did you guys do the same?
I didn't write it down. Technically, I watched it on a train, so there were plenty of people in the room.
Well, yeah, but if you're not actively... Were you driving the train? If you were driving the train... Okay. Were you actively engaged in conversation with the multiple of people around? Then it doesn't fucking matter.
Very good attention to it on the train and to my transfer to the bus. I didn't even read my incoming Slack messages. So about 24 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, because if we said that you can't count that, then half the movies Ayaz watched wouldn't count. Because he would watch them on the fucking bus.
That's
Also,
true.
not a bad bus movie. It was an okay bus movie, except for one scene in the beginning.
There's one scene, yeah, So
There's some,
I got
some
to
boobs.
I got to 20 minutes and 56 seconds. Like I was really paying attention to this movie, but at 20 minutes and 56 seconds, I'm like, no, I need a break. And actually, it says in my notes, need a break. And
I
then
got.
watched the.
Okay, sorry.
I was
thought
just
you
saying,
were done.
it says here, watching the movie on a different day, and I finished it today. So you were saying?
I was just gonna say I got 38 minutes 48 seconds into this. All right, so I'm curious to hear your notes because I've got like a paragraph. It's not the epic note session.
There's
that
not
I
much to
typically
write
do.
about this movie.
I have,
Okay,
I have
so-
a couple of things. I have a couple of things that I want to say, and I just want to see if you guys agree with me or if you even know what I'm referring to. But you go ahead, Is.
Okay, well, I have copious notes because I tried to be engaged in this movie. I did pick this movie based on a Netflix recommendation with my PWP profile where I rate shitty movies very highly, and this thing was somewhere in the middle. So Redeemer, great. It's in Spanish. And there's a rape scene. Asterisk attempted. Whew. The tattooed man will save her. He wants all the men to get down on their knees and ask God for forgiveness. Standard 4 guys versus 1 guy. They take turns to attempt to beat him up. Guess what? 1 guy wins. He uses his own weapons or their own weapons against him. Tooth removal, +1, because I believe he takes pliers and pulls out somebody's teeth. Hooded/tattooed man goes to the church, and we've got our opening credit scene. The credits are in English, so I'm hoping at this point that this movie is going to be in English. Mystery Man is now at a hotel after driving through that credit sequence. Now there's no dialogue, so I don't know what language the rest of the movie will be in. Mystery Man is setting up a little place to pray to. Mystery Man is having flashbacks about a dead boy. Back to church, but it's a suited man who sees the knives and weapons left by Mystery Man when he visited the church. He finds a crucifix, nods knowingly. He shows off his custom bullets with scorpion logos. He's got a man tied up to a pole who has a gun duct taped to his hand. The gun is pointed to his head. So the man who's taped or is like tied to the pole has got this gun to his head. He's putting gasoline on and around the tied man. If you die, you will meet your son in heaven. That's a sin, so you can't commit suicide. Suited man lights up tied up man, and gunshot within 30 seconds. By the way, I don't think we have any names for anyone yet, but I might have missed it. 14 minutes in, no names. Mystery Man flashback.
To be fair, you did get a name. You just hadn't realized it yet, which is Scorpion.
Right, right, his name is Scorpion. I forget that at this point. Okay, so let's see. I believe. Okay, Mystery Man flashback to stroking a pregnant belly of a woman in his arms. I believe I've typed more in this document than there is dialogue in this movie so far. English.
I mean, they're very nice detailed stage directions for this film. This is pretty much how it was written.
There's very little dialogue so far. So English. Guy speaking English on the phone. He must be the top bad guy. He's got a white suit in my Eames chair because I have the same chair. Good thing I don't have a white suit. Mr. Braddock. We have a name here. He wants his money, but leather jacket guy doesn't have it. His translator says, get the money or die. And by the way, the translator might have been the most interesting thing in this movie because he kept making things way more incendiary than Mr. Braddock was saying. Jacket man says Braddock should have had a plan B. Translator's not doing a great job of translating. Braddock squeezes an orange as a means of intimidation of sorts because he says to squeeze harder.
So Braddock, is that the American?
He's the American.
He was my favorite character in this movie.
He was a character at least. He had personality.
Such a ridiculous his character is so goofy. He's a wannabe big shot and has no sense of self-awareness. It's kind of like what would happen if you took Michael Scott from The Office and told him you get a chance to be a drug lord. It's kind of that.
And he's getting played by the people around him the entire time.
Well, I think that
Scott-ish.
happens. I think that happens more toward the end. Like it's when they start really realizing how big an idiot he is.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly the money behind the drug operation that's going on. By the way, a lot of the intricacies of the plot are revealed piecemeal throughout the movie, which does not serve it well. It's not like this creates mystery. It just creates like confusion. Like what are the motivations behind these characters? So anyway, the American is the money behind this drug operation, and he spends most of the movie trying to get his cohorts to come up with a really cool nickname for himself.
I like that. He's like, Pierre the Stone. Wait, his name is Redeemer and you're Scorpion? Or that Scorpion? I need a cool name. That's like the best part of the entire movie. And that's not
Yeah.
until much, much later. Okay, so back to the movie. Mystery Man finds another four guys beating up one guy at a dock. He's observing. The guys broke the one guy's oar. Boating guy's been given 1 day to pay. Four guys disappear, and Mystery Man picks up Boatman. Boatman equals Augustine, I think. Mystery Man brings Augustine to a house where a woman tries to patch him up. A child watches, but is shooed away by her mom, or his mom. The woman asks why she should trust a man who travels with an altar. 20 minutes, 56 seconds, need a break. So this is where I quit the first time.
Yeah,
That
and
was
let's just say, like, the notes that Ayaz is giving right now, they're disjointed, but that's largely because that's the way the movie is. That
Yeah.
you watch this film and you're like, okay, wait, who are these people? How do they know each other? How does the Redeemer, who apparently is visiting this place for the first time, know where to go to, help people?
And that's,
That's
20
that's
some odd
clear-
minutes in, and it continues that way for longer.
Well, and that's the movie's done this by design, right? There's a whole sequence where you finally figure out who the hell the Redeemer is, what the Redeemer's deal is. This is almost at the end of the movie when you find out who he is. Like, why has he chosen this path to try and help people? And what is his role? How does he know so many, and how do so many people know him that are in the drug trade? Like, what's going on? Most of those questions aren't answered until you get toward the end, which again does not create mystery or intrigue. It just creates confusion.
Well, yeah, and you get to the end and you're just like, oh, all right. Like it doesn't give you anything to actually, I don't know. Anyway,
To be fair, the plot, while muddy and poorly executed, only exists to get us from fight scene to fight scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
It kind of like,
Sorry.
I'm sure I have a note about this. It reminds me of Shoot 'em Up, but not as fun.
Yeah.
Like, Shoot 'em Up is really dumb and great scenes, but like it knows it's dumb and you're okay with it. And so I think this thing very similar that way. Just maybe if Spanish was my first language, I might have enjoyed it more. All right, so back to my notes here.
Sure.
Watching the movie on a different day. Remind me to be careful picking movies that aren't in English. Back to the cabin. Redeemer spins the chambers of a gun, and he doesn't shoot himself in the head. I really hope he does with 30 minutes left in this movie, and the rest of the movie is the camera showing him dead. 'Cause that'd be cool.
Yeah, so this is a ritual that we see done multiple times in the movie where the character of the Redeemer has a revolver and he's playing Russian roulette just by himself. He spins the barrel of the gun, or rather, he spins the revolver and then puts it to his head, pulls the trigger, and if he doesn't die, he takes that as a sign from God to continue doing what he's doing.
Okay, so I also call the Redeemer Hooded Man or Mystery Man in my notes because there's no name for him for a while. So Hooded Man is back for a fight. Context? I forget. Also, I find his tattoo shitty. Fight scene at the pier. Don't care. Hooded Man puts a hook in the guy's mouth. His name is now Hooked Man. Now Hooded Man has run someone through an outboard motor. That was pretty gross. Hooded Man walks towards the church because that is what he does, it says in all caps. Hooded Man looks around. He sees danger, guys with guns. The music also says danger with synth goodness. Hooded Man avoids being seen by danger. I've named the bad guys danger at this point. I'm giving up my turn for the next 2 turns. This is so fucking boring. I checked the time. Dear God, I have more than 1 hour left. How? How is that possible? Okay. I think that's Boatman who's trying to get Maid Woman to let him stay. Boatman. I was working and a bag of money got caught in my net. He took it to the church. Then he was beaten by the gringo's men. That's Braddock. Augustine is the boatman. Right. Forgot about that. I checked the time again. 59 minutes and 43 seconds left. How? Hooded Man visits bad guy base. They search him and see his terrible back tattoo. I'm offended at this tattoo. And another fight scene. Nothing stands out in these fights. It's now like Shoot 'em Up, which was dumb beyond belief, but fun and light on physics. Hooded Man kills so many men. He's so tough. Gringo and Translator are dancing. This actually happens. It's actually kind of fun. Yeah, Leather Jacket Man is visiting now. Translator says the Redeemer is here. He says the Redeemer is an urban legend. Gringo says he needs a name since Steve isn't as cool as Pierda or Redeemer or Scorpion. Redeemer meets up with Maid Woman and Boatman. He takes their money. Now we're at some kind of flashback, I guess. Redeemer's crying with a revolver at his head, pre-tattoo. He shoots and he's dead. Nah, not dead. Shoots 2 or 3 times, no death. Redeemer tries a suicide thing again. Nope. Fight scene. Redeemer versus guy. Maid Woman is love interest, I guess. Flashback of Redeemer torture. Braddock has a great chair. Redeemer's shooting up a place. Boats. I just have the word boats with an exclamation point.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't. It's been too long since I've seen the film.
Another fight, Redeemer versus Leather Jacket Man. Redeemer pushes over Leather Guy because he's a badass. Jump to 1 hour and 12 minutes in, because this is where I kind of gave up. Redeemer comes upon Braddock in his kick-ass chair, but Braddock is dead. Scorpion comes out of Braddock's bullet hole in his head. Redeemer hit by Scorpion. Flashback, fatherish guy playing with the kid, hide and seek. Kid gets killed by Redeemer, I think. Scorpion pummels the guy. Redeemer wakes up on the beach, as you do. So Scorpion is beating up Redeemer because he killed the love of his life. That's what he actually said about his son, I guess. That's fair. Scorpion made every person Redeemer saved suffer so he could spit in Redeemer's face. So all this stuff is very interesting. It'd be fine if it was in the beginning of the goddamn movie. Scorpion asks if Hooded Man had fun with the gun he gave him. He gives the gun to the boatman. Russian roulette time. Well, shit. Scorpion is shooting folks for not complying. Pretty neat. Maid Woman brings the gun to her own head. Maid Woman turns the gun on Scorpion. Scorpion and Redeemer have a fight. I am bored again. So much blood out of mouths. Arm bar. There's an arm bar. Very excited about that. Redeemer walks up to Scorpion, punches him in the face. Maid Woman is picking up a gun. Big kick by Redeemer to Scorpion in the face. Scorpion falls to his knees. Maid Woman gives Redeemer the gun. Redeemer contemplates shooting. Scorpion falls to his knees, then gets down on the ground. He doesn't shoot Scorpion because he said something about meeting in heaven. Scorpion picks up the gun, looks at the sky. Camera pans up. Gunshot. It's over. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Redeemer commits the sin of boredom. That's what I have as my final note. There you go.
Yeah. So Scorpion, in case you did not catch that, Scorpion at one point was a big league our big guy player in the drug cartel, and was playing with his son in his house. The Redeemer character was sent to kill Scorpion on command of the drug lords, and accidentally kills Scorpion's son in the process. This leads Scorpion to swear his personal vendetta against Redeemer, and Redeemer to change his ways and become committed to doing God's work by killing the fuck out of bad guys, often with martial arts, but also with guns. And so the final fight scene at the end, I do remember this whole thing where, the question is Scorpion going to take the gun and shoot the Redeemer character? But I think the implication is that he shoots himself, right? That Scorpion kills himself. So So he commits the same mortal sin of suicide. This movie's very oddly religious, considering your protagonist is a murderous maniac. Here are my notes, my little paragraph, which is, it's not really so plot related. It's mostly kind of about the themes and the feel for it. I said the film is obviously inspired by Boondock Saints, Clockwork Orange, and Batman.
Yeah, that Clockwork Orange scene was the most obvious thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one where I was like, I wanted to tweet about it when I saw it, and then I thought, no, I should wait and see if you guys pick up on it. But yeah, the opening sequence where the gang is attempting to rape the woman is directly lifted from Clockwork Orange.
Yep.
Camera angles are the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's clearly lifting from Kubrick. The style over substance is total Boondock Saints. And the Batman thing would be the whole sense of the character, the vigilante character, seeking out villains that otherwise are beyond the touch of the law. So here are the rest of my notes. Main character is the Redeemer, a man who has lost everything and now travels from town to town, acting as the wrath of God. He's got a massive tattoo that identifies him as such. His nemesis is the Scorpion, who has a habit of putting people into impossible situations and giving them the opportunity to commit suicide. Redeemer starts every mission with putting the Scorpion's bullet into a revolver and spinning it. If he doesn't die, he goes out to wreak some vengeance. Apparently, Scorpion travels behind Redeemer and punishes anyone the Redeemer has helped, which makes you wonder why Redeemer keeps going or why he doesn't stop to confront the Scorpion. I guess he was just unaware of it, as the film ends up letting us know. So main story involves a little town, a wannabe American drug dealer, a bag of money, a maid slash nurse slash something or other who has a son in need of a kidney transplant, and lots of fight scenes. The fight scenes themselves are pretty good, neat choreography and well shot. Lots of Brazilian jiu-jitsu in this movie. The speedy punching section in which Redeemer goes bonkers on Piedra is a bit comedic, and then he does the old cartoony push him over with a single finger move. That's all the notes I had. So that was it. And of course, it's been so long since I've seen it, I had no way of adding more.
Just add in boats and you're fine.
Yeah, apparently boats needs to go in there somewhere.
And
for
boats.
some reason.
I mean, the funny part is, so the boats part I remember because they're going to the gringo's house to finally attack him. But the funny part about that is since I fast forwarded through that part of the movie, I wasn't entirely sure what was going on the entire time. So yeah, the guy who says he's a good diver, boat guy, he says he's a good diver at some point. Yeah. At some point he dives into the water off of a boat when they're going to the gringo's house, but I don't know what purpose he served in that entire attack other than being on a boat and then going underwater.
So one of the things we should mention, so this guy, this fisherman character, is a character that the Redeemer rescues at one point, but he's killed by the end of the movie. He does not make it. And appears to be a pretty innocent dude. He does end up with a bag full of the money that belongs to the drug cartel, but appears at least to not have he doesn't have the will to like just take the money and run. That's one of those things that's kind of weird about this movie is that you get the feeling the town they're in is awful. Like, because it's essentially the HQ for the drug cartel. So why the guy doesn't just say like, "Oh, I have a shit ton of money, time to leave this place forever"?
And one of my favorite part in the beginning was they're talking about neo-Nazis being bad and neo-Nazis being in the town at one point, and I'm like, and then later on in the movie, I'm like, where did the neo-Nazis go? I think it was just those 4 dudes that he beats up in the beginning. That was it. Neo-Nazi plot done.
They were the the neo-Nazis. Because that was the other thing. I'm like, okay, maybe we're some kind of like, are we like bordering on post-apocalyptic kind of thing going? Or are we talking about this place has a real problem with Nazis? But
clearly, well, 2 things. One, it's set in Chile. So it's probably a bunch of actual Nazis, not even neo-Nazis. These are the descendants of Nazis who fled to South America. And so they're not even neo-Nazis. Secondly, I think we can all assume that the Nazis in that town had recently departed to go to post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, and they're the Nazis that are in the film Surf Nazis Must Die.
Nazis Must Die. Yeah.
Which we previously watched on Podcast Without Pretense.
Right. So that movie's clearly a companion to this because even there, the post-apocalyptic world is like really not because like there's a lady making sandwiches and stuff in the kitchen.
I think Redeemer is a spiritual, not a sequel but a prequel to Surf Nazis Must Die.
I like that one of our criticisms is where are the actual Nazis? Like,
like I was promised Nazis.
You can't just bring them up and like just drop them.
Set it up like that.
I'm calling it right now.
And that's why I was confused for a lot of the plot because I'm like, okay, the neo-Nazis have to come in at some point. Where are they?
Yeah, I'm calling it right now. As none of the titles you can choose for this episode will have the word Nazi in them.
Well, yeah, let's commit a crime in the EU. There's a good idea. Be the internet. No, I've got a bunch of different things and for titles. Also, one is where are the actual Nazis? So
Yeah, see, I'm nixing that.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to be a. I don't want to be a Nazi or anything. But I don't.
Well, we may
Yeah.
lose some of our audience, but we may gain a different segment of our audience. I mean,
I'm not sure
do we
that's-
just care about raw numbers?
No. We've always been about quality over quantity.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Not that we
rebrand.
Not that we care that much about quality, but it's still more than the quantity.
It's still slightly better than quantity.
Yeah. Okay, good. I think this Nazi discussion has been it's done.
Yeah. So Ayaz, are you really giving
glad
it
we
2
had-
turns for Redeemer?
I'm thinking about it because I
It's
should have
really
found
not
out.
as bad.
It was
as you-
so dull. That was the problem with like it. You're right. It's not bad, but it's not good at any which way. It's like at least Avengers Grimm was just shitty and like laughable at times, and like or it was
What-
nonsensical. This movie
You
was
had- yeah. Avengers Grimm, you had to spend a lot of energy just to figure out why are things happening the way they are.
right, and like just putting it together and seeing the logical flaws. Now this movie Redeemer doesn't have like tons of logical flaws. It's a decently told story, but like you
Yeah.
said, it seems like it's got it's essentially a way to get a bunch of fight scenes together in a sequence. And the fight scenes are good, but they're not like mind blowing such that you really need to
Right.
see them or they're shot in a way that you've never seen. So like it was shot nicely and the fight choreography was good, but it's just kind of middling. You know what I mean? So like
to watch-
that's why I'm like, I want to find something horrible. Horrible.
To see something that's in this same vein of a martial arts film where the plot really only exists to string together fights, watch any early Jackie Chan film. And that's essentially the same. Like any early Jackie Chan film, the plot really only exists to get from fight to fight. But because of the charisma of the star, and because of the incredible fight sequences of Jackie Chan films, they're very entertaining. And this one was not so much. You had no emotional investment in any of the characters. With the possible exception of the nurse / maid / whatever. This was another problem I had, was that a lot of people,
Oh, yeah.
their
The fact
roles
that
were
her
ill-defined.
son was dying, like the fact that her son was dying and she was going to take the money to save him, all of us glossed over that in our summary of that film.
Yeah. Well,
It was
and
in
also
there.
just that
But
it
no one paid attention.
you don't know who she is for most of the movie. In fact, by the end of the
Yeah.
movie, you really don't like. What the hell are you? Are you a nurse? Are you a maid? Are you a
Yeah.
maid who's had training as a nurse, but now you no longer can have that job? Like, you never learn anything about any of these characters, which makes it hard for you to care about anybody. And that's true for everyone in this film. Like the most you learn is that the Redeemer character killed the son of a bad guy who is now even more of a bad guy because of it. That's the most
Right.
you learn about any character in this film, and that's an issue because without knowing more about them, it's pretty hard to care.
Yeah, if you want to watch a movie where somebody his motivation is the death of his own kid, watch Face Off. Same kind of thing, you know. But
Spoiler.
I think the movie's like 20 years old at this point. I don't think I can spoil Face Off, can I?
Well,
It's like-
you can't. I haven't seen it.
Also, it's a John Woo film, so it's shot really fun. The stunt people you're like laughing at because like they don't match at all. They don't match Nick Cage or John Travolta. Why is he 7 feet tall all of a sudden? So that's
One of
fun.
these days, I'll have to check that out.
You should
So
watch
my
it.
question is this Eric's turn now to pick a movie? Whose turn is it?
Well,
It ain't
what
mine.
did we watch before this?
Oh, let me see.
Two of the archives.
I
The
think
last
it's
one,
John-
oh, well, the last one I have written down, although this is not necessarily the last one we watched before that, was Crossroads. So maybe
was
what we
mine.
need to do, That was that can't be right though. I think I just don't
Oh no,
have.
the William Zero. Did we watch
Oh
that?
yeah, we did watch
That
that.
was
That
it.
was my pick. That
Mhm.
was my pick. So it is Eric's turn.
Yeah, I'm
So
already
Eric,
like skipping.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I've watched recently that
I watched
would.
Creed. It was all
Yeah,
right.
what'd you think of that?
It was all right. Yeah. I mean, it was good
was
enough
it-
that I didn't really realize it was a Rocky movie until I was already into it.
Wow.
You're like, this is not about
Wow.
the band. Where's the shit
Yeah.
singing?
Oh Jesus
Well, like
Christ!
I
I'm
watched
glad
it, I
that-
got like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, wait, is this a Rocky movie? And I'm like, all right, let's do this.
So,
and then it
how
ended,
did
and I
you-
was like, that was pretty good.
Wait, how did you see this movie in a theater?
I saw 0 trailers for the movie. I didn't know what was
but-
going on.
Did you buy a ticket to this movie, or did you just watch it online?
Yeah, I bought a ticket for it.
Okay, so you bought a ticket to a movie based
so
on what?
we had a bunch of free passes because when we went to see the Amy Winehouse documentary, it didn't work at the theater where we were at. So they just gave us a bunch of tokens. We were bored, and then we went and saw a movie. It was definitely one of those, like, we were there by the theater, already at a bar, and then what's this? We'll see this.
So did you feel that Stallone's performance justified him not acknowledging his co-star when he accepted his award?
Yeah, I didn't really know about that. I mean, his performance was okay, but yeah, I don't know.
So I was just looking at the stuff I've recently watched on Netflix to see if there was anything worthy of discussion. The only thing I can tell you that I assume will it may not surprise you, but it's something I thought, oh, I might as well bring this up. I actually watched Singham again.
Was it like a group audience thing, or
Nope, just me.
just watching him?
Just watched it again. Actually,
Okay.
to be fair, I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched probably the first half hour of it, which that's a long movie too. So
So I have Willem Dafoe. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. It is called 444 Last Day on Earth from 2011.
is it the number 444?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. 444.
Yeah.
Wow, 1 star. The world ends tomorrow. Chinese still delivers. The city keeps blinking, and time becomes two lovers' worst enemy. I don't know what that means.
I know. I like went through a bunch of other things, and I was like, well, I kind of know what that's about, but
Oh, good God! It says it's only an hour and 21 minutes, but I mean, just as I'm hovering on Netflix and it's showing the different scenes, it looks like it's long and tedious. It's
Here it
only
goes. After learning that the world will end the following day at 4:44 a.m., a New York City couple lives out their final hours with mixed emotions. This movie is emotional, dark, and steamy.
Well, this is not a bus movie then.
not a bus movie. Crap, I should pick a bus movie.
Yeah, you should pick a bus movie because
I don't know. 444 has already got my attention. It does have Willem Dafoe in it.
Yeah,
And
but
I just talked about Boondock Saints, so
that's not okay. Willem Dafoe also played a terrible Green Goblin. So
he was an amazing Green Goblin.
if he was in Power Rangers, sure, but he was not in Power Rangers. He was in Spider-Man.
His outfit was shit. I'll give you that. He was an amazing Green Goblin.
I don't know about this. I don't agree.
Like, if you had put him in a decent costume, you'd be calling that one of the best super villain characters from that particular era of comic book movies. Now, to be fair, it's a pretty shitty era.
Yeah, what's great about what you're saying is that didn't happen. So I am basing my opinion on reality. Where
look,
he
compare his performance to Sandman, right, or Venom.
Okay,
it's much better.
Well, yes, everything compared to Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 that's kind of low. I mean, that's that's ridiculous. I mean, that's just
And
That
to be
shouldn't have
really fair, Spider-Man 2 is the only film
That's a good-
in that trilogy that's worth watching, I think.
yeah. One you don't like. Okay, so it becomes Spider-Man. Got it. Good. Second one, it's fun and good.
Yeah, and Doc Ock is great.
Yes, he might be the best villain in the whole damn thing. Now, Willem
Yeah,
Dafoe,
no, he definitely is.
he's a great actor, but this thing does look like a pile of garbage, Eric.
It's
I
probably
added it-
horrible. I'm
I
absolutely
added it-
certain it's horrible.
I added it to my list. I think it's too late now.
Oh, is that how this works?
It's on my list as well, but my list can be changed. That's the weird thing.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm pretty sure you can't remove them until after you watch them.
That's that would be amazing if Netflix wouldn't allow you to add anything until you've watched
Until
something.
you
Look,
watched it.
your queue, like my queue's got like hundreds of titles where I'm a better person and where I watch all these documentaries. That's a bunch of bullshit. Like I'm watching The Flash right now. I'm busy on The Flash, so never gonna get to. I want to finish a documentary. It's called Drew. I think it's called the artist who did all these awesome movie posters like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Great artist. I haven't finished that yet, but one day, after The Flash and Lifetime movies, I will get to more documentaries.
Yeah, I think it would be hilarious if they just stayed in your queue until you watch them, and otherwise it would just clutter up your queue forever. Because that would be an amazing way to troll somebody. It's just
Well, that's-
adding movie after movie. Can you just imagine like a talking pony ? Exclamation mark ? What the hell?
I think it was a
Put that
talking
on my
cat.
list.
Was there a talking
Yes,
pony
but-
movie too?
Yes, there was a talking pony movie. We talked about it in the talking cat
Yeah.
episode.
There is a talking pony movie.
There
I
is
don't think
no
it's on-
more.
I don't think it's on
Talking cat.
Netflix, but
Oh, too bad.
I have to see if this one's true in French or not.
what, the 444?
No.
You could just imagine Willem Dafoe speaking French. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, because Redeemer is mostly in Spanish, there's really no way to not pay attention to it. See, unless you know Spanish. Like, I'm sitting there reading the subtitles, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is. I'm
mean, I
investing
guess-
so much brain power on this pile of boredom.
I wish I spoke Spanish so that I could see how different the subtitles are from a true translation. Because that can happen where, if you're a native speaker of a certain thing and you're watching and you start reading the subtitles and you realize, no, that's not what they said, or at least that's not exactly what they said. Maybe it's in the same spirit as what they said. But I don't speak
Okay.
Spanish.
Let's see if this works. Netflix made me sign out and sign back in. That's really weird.
Weird.
What's gonna work?
It's
what are
from
you trying-
Argentina Films. Never mind, it's in Spanish.
Well, you were
No,
trying to pick a different one. I thought we've already chosen.
Oh, we have. I'm done now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it.
No matter what, Jonathan is watching 444.
Yeah,
No,
we might as
I'm
well
only-
finish this
I'm
Willem Dafoe
only
film
doing
with
it. Only doing it if I have the knowledge that at least two other people are going to suffer through it with me.
through this. Wait, has it Rotten Tomatoes rating on that? Let's see what we get there.
So there's a movie called When Animals Dream, which immediately I thought, oh, this would be great fodder for the show, except for the fact that it predicts that I would give it 4 stars. So that's way too high.
Rotten Tomatoes for 444 is 48%. So
That's
not complete trash.
Not nearly as low as some of the other movies we've watched on this
I mean,
show.
it's no Biodome, that's for sure, but it's
It's no Left
think
Behind.
Biodome still has at one point it was a trivia question I got. The lowest Metacritic score on a film was Biodome, and it was something like a 2.
That's impressive. I know
Yeah.
that Sharknado 3 will be out on Netflix on the 22nd. So if you
How
haven't
is the
watched
third
that,
already out?
what do you mean? Why? How's it out? It's
I
been
didn't-
out for a while.
Yeah.
They keep churning out this garbage. It's unbelievable.
The
maybe
X
I
Files
should-
is on Sunday.
Did-
That's exciting.
Mhm.
Did we watch Antisocial for this show? I know I've
Yes.
seen it.
We did.
No, isn't that a musical?
No, Antisocial is the one that was the group of friends where there's like essentially a virus outbreak, a rage virus outbreak outside
Oh.
while they're at a New Year's Eve party.
I don't think we watched it for the show, but I watched it too.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
I saw it, and I think we talked about it, but it may have been one of those where I just watched because, again, it's one of those horrible horror movies, and
Yeah.
I can't stay away from those. I'm guessing that some of these that are at the bottom of my list are ones I've already seen. Yeah, because Blood Lake. All right.
Yeah, I just had
That's
that
fair.
happen where I was scanning through like the worst rated ones, and all of them I'm like, oh, never mind, I've seen all of these.
Yeah, I think Netflix starts putting some of the ones that you've already seen at the bottom of the list automatically. Because I'm looking at this, they're not all of. I haven't seen all of them. Like I don't think I tried to watch Starry Eye. No, I did watch Starry Eyes. No, never mind. One of these I'm sure I did not see. But most of them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Biodome has a 1 on Metacritic. Just in case anybody needed that.
Yeah.
5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, Thunder in the House of Magic is still available. Sorry, Thunder and the House of Magic. A Talking Cat ? ! Is not available anymore on Netflix.
That's something we should all be thankful for, honestly.
Well, I mean, really what's happening is we do our episode about it, then people start watching it, then the publishers realize they might be able to sell a DVD, so they pull it from Netflix.
Are you sure that they'd even get to the point where they're making it in DVD and it's not just a VHS tape?
That's maybe.
I'm pretty sure the ideal audience for a talking cat are the same who
It's
still have a
VHS.
dual VHS DVD player.
Yep.
That's oh man. Well, I gotta say, I am very excited about 444, and I say that pretty much before we watch any of these movies, and I regret saying it as soon as I'm done watching each of these movies. But hope springs eternal that it'll be a glorious train wreck of a film, or at least interesting. It doesn't necessarily have to be good. It just has to be interesting.
I fear it's going to be 2 people in a room type thing, and that might get really bad.
Well, I mean, The
Yeah.
Circle wasn't bad. It had like 100 people in a room. They're all dying
Oh,
and
right.
stuff. So.
Yeah.
That was the one where they all voted on each other to you had to figure out who was going to die next. That was
We already
I
had
like
this
the idea.
discussion.
I know. I
liked the
was
movie.
just going to say I like the idea of the movie. I felt that the execution was wanting.
Wait a
but-
second. Eric, on my list here, I have here 200,000 Dirty. Wasn't this your pick and we just never got to it?
We never watched it.
That was I think we never watched it.
I mean, it's on my
It's-
list, so
It's still
There's
on
no way
my
in hell I
queue
did it.
too. I have never removed it, but
with Coolio.
Oh yeah,
And
with Coolio. Yep, we never watched it.
okay, it's there.
I would appreciate it if you didn't fucking bring that up next time it's Eric's turn.
I'm just looking at my list to see what else I had planned if I was going to continue. I know I have a Welcome to the Jungle with Van Damme. At some point, we'll watch that. Unstoppable, the Kirk Cameron documentary, which I don't know.
Oh wait,
I don't know if I can. Do it.
we can't. No, I've watched it before.
What?
I know.
Oh,
I've
did you?
watched it before. Oh, I've totally watched that. That was definitely a me by myself with like a 6-pack, being like, well, I don't have anything to do. I'm just gonna put this movie on and read some news. And I'm pretty sure it's just him talking the whole time. That's about it. That's what happens in that movie.
I don't think Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas is available yet on Netflix.
It's not. I check once a month.
Got to buy the rights to that too.
Oh, I see the next one I'll be picking.
What are you thinking?
Robin Hood, the Ghost of Sherwood. While trying to resurrect Robin Hood and his merry men from beyond the grave, Maid Marian and Little John unwittingly turned them into the undead.
Holy crap, that sounds amazing.
That's
That's amazing.
But
I'm just
whoa,
gonna go
an
ahead.
hour and 56 minutes?
Yep.
No,
I like to pick
fucking
the
way.
really, and it's 1 star. And if you look at the names, it's not necessarily going to be in English.
And it's genres: B horror movies, supernatural horror movies. And this movie is violent, exciting.
I just added it to
Okay.
my list so that I don't forget it next week.
Oh,
whenever
wonderful.
we choose.
I mean, Redeemer
Yeah.
was only like 75 minutes, and I had to. It took me like a couple of days to watch the damn thing.
So also, it's kind of funny to think about. It's my turn to choose next week, and then the following week I'll be in Hawaii. Man, I might not be able to see the movie I pick. What a shame that would be.
Oh no, how terrible! You can watch. I'm sure there's a way for you to download a copy of this so you can watch Robin Hood: The Ghost of Sherwood.
But I don't know that I could find time away from the people I'll be traveling with, though. They might demand to be in the room
No,
with me.
absolutely you could. So what you got to do is make sure you have a Gear VR and strap it to your face. And while you're in Hawaii, wait a second.
Can
while
I
you're in paradise,
expense this to podcast without pretense?
it's $99. You got what phone do you have?
I've got a Nexus 6.
That's well, you're gonna need some Google Cardboard instead then. So like you can't expense that. That's like $1 So- from our corporate account. And you got to make sure though you keep this on your face while you're in paradise, and you got to make sure that the actual VR experience is some kind of shitty basement theater, not a good theater, okay, like a really lousy one. So even though you're like in one of the best places on earth, you got to have that feeling of dankness.
It has to be. It has to be such a situation where there is ambient noise behind me, like someone crackling through like candy wrappers, and occasionally someone coughing.
Yeah, where you can turn around and just see some jackass over there, like
Just blank faced, just some blank faced mouth breather. Just rattle, rattle, rattle. That'd be awesome. I love the fact too that the next time I end up hanging out with you two, you'll both owe me 33 cents so that I can expense this Google Cardboard.
there you go. That's how this works. We make lots of money on this show. By lots of money, I mean whatever we find in the couch cushions.
Yeah, no, the money we make
enough
tends
for
to
a Google Cardboard.
Yeah. No, buying Google Cardboard for myself would set us way back in the budget. Yeah. The only reason this show exists is because there are people who are very kind who will offer to host it for us.
Yeah, if we actually had to pay for this, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Like, we'd actually have to like pay attention and do the show
and
Market.
renew when it comes up.
We forgot our sponsors. Comcast.
Oh yeah, fuck you, Comcast. By the way, hey guys, remember before we took our little 2-week break, how I was talking about how things had improved dramatically and I wasn't really experiencing any more problems? Boy, those days are long gone. So on Sunday, I had to reboot my modem 7 times.
Well, do you have a remote for it yet, or what?
Nope.
That's true.
I mean,
Gotta get
I do
yourself-
have I've got the app. I've got the app for it. So
There's an app.
I can pull up the app on my smartphone and send a note to Comcast to reboot the signal remotely so I don't have to get up. But sometimes whatever the problem is so bad the Comcast can't get the signal to the modem in the first place to be able to send a reboot signal, so I then have to get up and unplug
Okay, so
it.
here's what you do. You go to AliExpress, you buy yourself a cheap Chinese-made wireless outlet remote at $10. There you go. You're good.
Yeah, I used to have that, but
And all you have to
Or-
worry about now
Or here's
is the
here's
Chinese
another idea. Here's
spending
another
on
idea,
power
Eric.
usage.
Here's another idea, Eric. Comcast can fucking provide the goddamn motherfucking service they're supposed to fucking provide me for all the goddamn money I'm giving them every goddamn month. There's an idea.
When hell freezes over, it'll be great. And Comcast will give great service, and we'll all ride ponies. But until then,
it's driving me crazy because I know if I call Comcast and I tell them what the problem is, their response is they'll send another technician out who will come and fiddle with the modem again, and it'll work again for another couple of months, maybe if I'm lucky, 3, and then I'll start having the problems all over again. I keep wanting to just say, look, just look at the history of service calls to my house.
Yeah.
There's a recurring problem here.
I just can't wait till you get a tech who just looks at it and goes, well, here's your problem. You're getting this thing clogged every month. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the problem is that you've decided to download too many apps. And they're all stuck in the bottleneck here. So I'm gonna get a pipe cleaner, clean that out, and then your apps are gonna come through, and then you should be good. Just don't download so many apps at once.
Yeah.
I think that satisfies our quota of fuck you, Comcast. Again. Oh, that's right. They still want $90 from me. So no.
Oh, geez.
You're not getting it.
I recently so for Christmas I received Rock Band 4. I recently bought a bunch of songs for Rock Band 4 because the list of songs that are actually available with the game are decent, but there aren't as many songs that I absolutely love on there as I would like. So I went and bolstered it by purchasing some from the various downloads, and it's so irritating to have songs which they're not huge file sizes failed to go through because of multiple modem failures.
Jeez.
And meanwhile, I'm also thinking like I'm paying for that unlimited bandwidth, like unlimited data. So no data cap on me. Although in Atlanta we are one of the
Atlanta's one of the cities. Yeah.
No, if I had not upgraded, I would have hit across my data cap every month. So my policy has essentially been, now that I'm paying for unlimited data, which is significant. I mean, it's a significant hike in the monthly price, so much so that I probably would actually be better off just staying with the data cap and paying an overage fee, except for the fact that I hate getting the goddamn message, hey, you're about to go over. Like, I know I'm about to go over. I'll just pay it. No, you're about to go over. I know I'm about to go over. I'm going to pay the penalty. Just forget about it. No, but you're about to go over. Like, oh, God damn it. So that's why I upgraded. I now, I just, as a matter of policy, am downloading shit tons more than I normally would because I'm paying for it anyway.
So the T-Mobile binge on thing, I'm sure you guys saw that. So I have T-Mobile, and I have an unlimited data plan. Like, not an unlimited data plan, but like an old grandfathered unlimited data plan. Like, you give us $20 a month, and you can use all the data you like. And yeah, so then I read about the binge on thing, and I was like, yeah, I don't want that. So I called T-Mobile, and I was like, I don't want that turned on in my account. Then they're like, great. Log into my account. Oh, it's turned on. You can get all the shitty quality video you want. And I'm like, no, turn that off. Like, I have unlimited data. And now you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch Netflix on the train every damn day.
I also have unlimited data on my phone, although mine's not grandfathered in. It was a change that happened the last time I called to change my service with T-Mobile, because I was on an old family plan.
That's what we're on.
Yeah. So the problem is that my wife switched to AT&T. So I was then spending more money per month than I would if I had it as a single customer. So that's when I decided to change it. And they changed me over to a plan where I get unlimited data as long as it's on just the phone. If I tether the phone, then I've got a limit of 5 gigabytes for tethered data. But otherwise, I have unlimited. So I was using that back when I was worried about the data caps here, I would just switch my phone to cellular only. And if I wanted to, listen to something while I was going to sleep or whatever, I did it over the phone as opposed to, Now, nope, it all goes through the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right.
So thanks for bringing up the sponsor, Ayaz.
So on that note, we should actually thank GFQ. We never do this. So this show is hosted at GFQ. So if you want to go to Guys from Queens, you should go there. Find our
There's a
old
chat-
episodes. There's a chat room where it's super active.
There's a ton of other great shows on the network. I mean, well, there are a ton of great shows on the networks, and then there's us.
Yeah, we're great show adjacent, as has been said before.
Yes. But
we
we are the future. We are still the future best podcast of 2014.
Yeah, so if you want to hear our reviews of all kinds of shitty movies, you can type in podcast.pretense.com. It'll redirect to GFQ, which is nice because it's an actual URL that I'm paying for, which I'm going to expense. And when I see you guys, I'm going to charge you all of $2. So anyway,
that's fair.
Let's look into the future next time on podcast.pretense.
I only have $1.50.
And then I said, that wasn't my hand.
No. I mean, there's no way. Comcast sent me another 20 boxes, and I'm not even a subscriber.